What's up, guys? We got the brand new events, and there's some pretty good stuff to take a look at. Now, the main highlight of this is how Go Games decided to pretty much add 2 characters into Limit Lease, and adding Yhwach himself as well as Raijin Yoruichi, it pretty much surprised me. I had no idea they would actually do something like this, especially considering Yhwach is kind of like an older partner at this point in the game. He has been out for maybe at least a year, I would say. So, we should have probably been seeing him more into events, but he still holds his price. He's still, King Yhwach himself, the best assaulter in the game, but he does cost a lot. Now, the good thing about him being in limited lease is, you have to permanently own him for 40k gold, which most events you'll catch him for around 50 to 60 anyway. There was a few moments where you're actually able to get him for 40k in the past. So it's a very rare price to actually see him in. But the cool thing is you can rent him every week for about 840 gold, which is pretty much manageable. So I would assume you're going to see a lot more Yhwachs into the game. Bringing them into the lease, I can guarantee you will start seeing people rent Yhwach in a new server, maybe even a Raijin Yoruichi, and pay them off over the course of time. It's honestly a really good way if you're trying to get yourself a new partner that you haven't used. And you can't go wrong renting Yhwach because he is extremely strong. 210% growth rate for his skill attacking everybody. Like, he is just a beast. I was actually thinking of getting him, but it would just complicate things for me as far as working on him and replacing Berserk Renji with him. And the problem is, if you get yourself a Yhwach, you kind of want to get yourself a Raijin Yoruichi, so I don't want to go ahead and rent both at the same time. So even though the update is really cool, and I do, would like to get them in the future, I just don't think I see myself getting them right now. Yoruichi is by far the fastest assaulter in the game, next to Jugram, I believe. So having her in Limit Lease so soon, it's definitely interesting. Now, in the recent times for Bleach, Go Games has been pushing out so many updates, which is a great thing. We haven't had updates in a while, and they're finally actually giving us stuff from Tournament of the Throne back to getting the equipment upgrades, and then now Limited Lease, as well as more partners into the Ultra Hero event. So they're actually pretty much evolving the events, changing them. Now, what I wish they did with these 2 additions to the limited lease was lower the price of everything else. First of all, like 40k gold for Bankai Rukia. She's still a very good support. She's by far the best gold support, best double S rank support as well. But she does not hold her 40k price tag. She should be dropped down to 20k at least, honestly, to keep it fair. TSI should have gotten a slight discount. He could still stay 30k, maybe push him down a little bit to like 25k. Demon Ichigo is honestly ridiculous though. 40k gold for this, yeah, you're gonna have to lower this to at least 20k, especially since he got added to Ultra Hero as a 20k top up. It's kind of dumb to get him. Basically, a lot of these partners have become obsolete when it comes to getting them from this event. Retsu no Hana was added into Ultra Hero for an 8k recharge way back when, so it's not even worth getting her here anymore. Then you have Demon Ichigo that I pointed out, and then you have like White Ichigo. Why is he still 40k? Now, I understand that he has, balanced growth rates. He has high wisdom for an assaulter, which you really don't see. But you can obtain him in the CSB rewards. 12k challenge stones, and you can go ahead and get him. So, 40k price is definitely not worth it for him. Honestly, I believe that all the partners that cost around 40k, 30k should be just dropped down to 20k, except for TSI. But everybody else needs to go. I can pretty much confirm that, as well as Retsu no Hana. She needs to go way down. But outside of that, it's good to see that they're making slight changes. You have Rio Guardian, who is continuing this side, so you basically can't get yourself the extra awards from the first part. Then you have yourself the Super Gold Wheel, Accelerated Modify. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. So you have Accelerated Modify with Noble Isane. Oh, it still continues, my bad. I keep forgetting these events are continuing. The one thing I did notice though is that they got rid of the top-up feedback for 40k gold when it came to limited feedback. Now this is kind of bad. You're always pretty much able to guarantee getting yourself a character or Zanpakuto, something in here. But since they took it out from the top-up rewards, I'm not sure if it's a one-time thing or it's a permanent change. But there is no reward for 40k, and the last thing you get is a 140 equipment set for 20k your top-up. Consumption event as well for 40k spending, it is not here. So pretty much the ultimate rebate takes over. Top of 40k, spend 40k, you get yourself a Raijin. The only problem with that right now is you really have no spending events. Outside of Bleach Gift, and then I honestly doubt you're going to spend 40k on daily. or limited present itself. Then you have daily present, which, you know, I think on the last day it gives you a 120 ultimate equipment set from recharging 8K. So if anything, I would say, you know, if you plan on recharging, take your time, pay attention to get yourself set up for a really good ultimate reward. You do have 5 days for that. Then you have yourself the Bleach gift event, which pretty much, in order to get the ultimate reward, you have to purchase all these boxes. And, you know, they do change every day. There's different prices to it. Even you can click the preview and it shows you what is there tomorrow. So tier 12 Hogu for tomorrow. Then you can also get yourself a achievement reward. And I believe, you know, you will see a Zanpakuto. I believe last time they had like a Zangetsu or Muramasa here. Then you also have a chance of getting yourself a partner from these events. So the event's not that bad. You're paying for other items, so you're basically gonna be redeeming stuff for that. I'm pretty much always forgetting to redeem this thing. Like, I have always started the work thing at reset, and then sometimes I forget about it, sometimes I don't even claim this. So make sure you claim this every day, otherwise you're gonna have a very hard time advancing your equipment without getting the Asachi that you need. So that is a big key to that. Now, regarding the actual Tournament of the Throne, as far as I know, this has only worked for the EU side. It was not working for the English side. And you know, we ended up getting compensation for everything. Now, I have no idea what is going on, but like this bracket for the English side is messed up. So you have yourself the level, what is it, 60 to 100 bracket, 101 to 120, which I'm so confused, like what is going on right now. There's like another Furia, which makes no sense. And then you have the Furia who is, you know, the rank 1 in my CSBs. So I'm like, why is there 2 of them? I'm so confused right now. Like, I have no idea what's going on. It seems like there's just 2 different characters with the same amount of name. But it bugs me out. Like, you see him over here with 14 mil power. And then you have, you know, the one that I know, that's one server behind me, with 9.5 million power. So I don't know what the hell is going on. But I don't know if this is gonna actually work. I'm guessing it doesn't work either because, you know, this basically is supposed to happen on Monday. Monday is day 1, which is the quarterfinal, and nothing went on. So, you know, pretty much it means it's broken again for the English side. As far as I know, it's been working on the EU side. You know, I pretty much got a suggestion from Brahmaster saying I should do like montages from Bleach fights and upload them weekly. You know, the idea seemed good at first, but then I was like, how am I supposed to do this? You know, picking through the fights and putting them into a montage or whatever, just a video, it honestly seemed like it was going to be a challenge. And I didn't get too many battle reports either to actually make a proper video. So I can't do it weekly based, I just have to just do it once in a while, I suppose. But, you know, Go Games gave us 500 coupon compensation for the Tournament of the Throne not working. Someone told me that they gave 1,000 coupons, but I don't know why we're getting 500. Maybe like they just gave EU 1,000 and they gave the US side 500 because I don't know what's going on. But the Tournament of the Throne does not work. Otherwise, you would see the winner's pretty much character right here where the Yamamoto is. So, you know, besides that though, the game has been getting significant updates. It's definitely, you know, getting a lot better. They just need to start dropping the old prices. They need to start dropping those prices and just, you know, focusing on actually something new to do. But, you know, besides that, you know, fair play. Go Games is actually doing something this time. Still no news about the merge. You know, we have been waiting for the longest to hear about the French side and the English side merging. But there's still no news about that. As far as Bleach itself, you know, last time I did the emergency battle power update. And, you know, the video was out of sync. So it really pissed me off though. The videos were out of sync and I just couldn't really do anything. Don't know why it was happening that way, so now I found a different way to record and just edit, so it shouldn't be out of sync anymore. You know, I'm pretty much getting destroyed because of these buffs. So, yeah, avoid injury rate, crit, as well as speed boosts. That's kind of nasty, but apart from that, I've been really passive when it came to this game. You know, the equipment update being properly fixed gave me a pretty big battle power boost, so I'm very happy with that. I really wanted to get to the 4 mil power rankings as soon as possible, And now I have to pretty much try to get for the 5 mil. So 5 mil is going to take a lot longer unless they release some function like that. I personally don't have any plans of doing any sort of top-ups recently because like what I do want to do is change my team. But when it comes to thinking about how much it costs to change my entire team just to have, I guess, more fun in the game, and it just honestly seems like it's not worth it. It really doesn't. But apart from that itself, I pretty much have or I should say I've been watching Dragon Ball Super when it came to, the last few days, and I've been honestly enjoying it. Dragon Ball Z has always been one of my favorite animes. I just never bothered starting Dragon Ball Super because listening to Dragon Ball Super, like listening to Dragon Ball in general for me, if it's not in English, I honestly just can't stand it. Like I think Dragon Ball needs to stay in English. Like I don't know, out of all the animes I ever heard, like I don't like dubbed personally. I don't like English dubbed at all. But when it comes to Dragon Ball, you need to get that in English ASAP. But another thing is, on Wednesday, we're going to be having a Dragon Ball Z browser game coming out. I'll put a link in the comments for those of you that want to check it out. I will definitely go try and start it out, but the only thing that worries me is that I'm going to have a full day. Having a full day between college and work on Wednesday when the game actually relaunches. Now, it is basically going to be a brand new Dragon Ball Z game. But for those of you who did play anime Saiyan back then, you're gonna pretty much understand the game, and it's pretty much not too different, nothing too special. It's basically gonna be a reskin of Bleach as well as Unlimited Ninja, but it's Dragon Ball themed. So I will be looking forward to playing that. Definitely had some good memories back in the day, and I'm pretty much looking forward to it. It's gonna be a reskin. I don't plan on going crazy because obviously what you want to do is start off the game, get a feel for it. Once you pretty much understand the concept of how you should get a perfect start, then you kind of go to a new server and then you see how you can pretty much do a takeover or just how well you can progress. I've basically been trying to get myself this Gin, just because my third support is lacking. I have 21k vitality saved up, but it's not gonna get me any sort of third support that I can actually use unless they bring them out to Ultimate Battle Power event. And I've been trying to get to myself this 150 points, but I honestly can't be bothered with this anymore. Some days it works out. Some days I can get really lucky, get myself whatever points I need, get myself all the stuff I need, all the 150 points at least to get myself the commerce contracts. But when it comes to this now, it's really not working out. And I apologize if I seem tired or exhausted. It's just it's like 3 in the morning when I'm recording this. I had a long day on Monday as well. So, it sucks, but the thing I like about Bleach the most is I can just peacefully record myself when the reset happens at midnight. And I don't have to basically wait for 5 in the morning. And this is probably like just a terrible daily task. Like I had to literally spend so many coupons just to get myself a significant amount. The funny thing is, you guys should know, is I don't do my full dailies unless I do the video. I personally just grab stamina, do evil spirit, do Ryoka, and then if I remember some things, I just do them. But outside of that, I only do the full daily routine on video. It's just I have so many things going on, and I really can't do it. It just seems like so much trouble trying to focus this every day. And it's been hard trying to get used to this as well because I have to do the weakest one to start fully infusing my equipment, which. No complaints there because it's going to make it a lot easier. I spent almost 2 months to fully infuse my 140 set. And then they released this update, so it sucks. I have been doing CSB even though I missed the first day to give myself more registration points. I'm ranked 76 now, about like 1,300 points. It's been rough though. All I gotta say is register in CSB on the 8th of every month. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed. And you gotta basically grind up the points like I did. But besides that, I can tell you this, every time I do Soul Hunt and I don't directly start, I always get the first one. For some reason, it is just, it curses me. It really does. But we have ourselves Thanksgiving events. So we should be seeing Thanksgiving events in at least 2 more event cycles, I believe. Because 10 days from now is going to be Black Friday. So I would say by around that time, the Black Friday weekend, 2 event cycles, we should go ahead and see ourselves Thanksgiving events. Now, what they might do is, you know, let the events run after these days, and then they might do like some kind of 2-week type event, which I can actually see themselves doing. So these might be the last events before Thanksgiving, and then they'll release like a 2-week promo for us. Hopefully we can get ourselves equipment sets like last year, and hopefully have ourselves a good super value rebate as well. I would actually hope for like a small Vitality mini battle power event going on with Thanksgiving as well. You know, just something so I can actually use my Vite. I've been stacked at 21k for way too long. I have no intentions of getting a Vanguard or an Assaulter, so pretty much would need them to do a supporter type thing, and I honestly can't imagine who they would drop. As far as the last Ultimate Battle Power that actually contained the support, I believe it was around May. Around May time, they actually released a Retsuna Hana Kenpachi support, and she was an Ultimate Battle Power. Now that was pretty much about, I would say 5-6 months from now. And you know, Ultimate Battle Power has mostly stayed between Assaulters to Zanpakutos, so you know, it's about time that they should do a support, but I honestly don't know who they would release. You know, they released Berserk Renji twice, Kensei Ryukin. I can't remember what support would actually fit that same exact timeline, but I'm pretty much trying to think along the lines of a red support. No idea who they would add, no idea how much it would cost. You know, there's always been that, like, there's been that rumor where a Bankai Rukia was gonna come into Ultimate Battle Power, which I would not believe. It's basically the same thing I said in many videos in the past for, was, you know, I'm basically praying for Demon Ichigo to go into Ultimate Battle Power event. But, you know, seeing that, I honestly just don't. You know, they're kind of considered a collector's item at this point, where obviously if you were to spend the same amount of gold, you can get yourself better partners for, but, you know, to players like us, it's pretty much just a collector's item at this point. You will rarely see Bankai Rukias, you will rarely see Demon Ichigos, and I'm talking like bought out. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you're gonna rent them and show off for like a day or two. So it's kind of rough when it comes to that. It just costs too much. That's really just a problem with that. But you know, I would be looking forward to anything. Like, you know, a Bankai Rukia Ultimate Battle Power event for 20k Vite, I would definitely go ahead and grab it. Like, I'm just stacking Vite for that reason. Whatever I'm looking forward to, it's basically what's gonna come my way first that I actually need. Don't plan on getting any other Assaulters over Berserk Renji. As far as the Vanguard, I honestly don't feel like going back to the Vanguard route at all. Kind of put all my stones into supports anyway, and you know, I don't have too many coupons saved up, but I do want to give myself some more speed stones. But you know, I'll have to wait for that later on. Another thing is I haven't been doing console at all when it comes to this. The home, I'll still never forget how bad it was honestly a bad idea for me to upgrade the home. If I actually did the console every day, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. Level 70 Zanpakuto for Cotton. My only problem is I haven't been doing Conquest of Might for the longest. I haven't done Conquest of Might in maybe a few months now, so it kind of sets me back. I'm like trying to think, like I could have sworn my power dropped a little bit. No, my power went up. Okay, I couldn't tell anymore. The coolest thing about being over level 151 is getting the double prestige from Arena itself. I should be getting close to the Mugetsu rank. I think I need like, I don't know how much it is. I think it's like 3.4 million to go from First Division Lieutenant all the way to Mugetsu, something like that. So I'm pretty close. Maybe by next video you guys will see me get the Mugetsu title finally. Outside of that, you know, the one thing people keep asking me about is all the soul talismans I have. Now the dream is this. Now I'm basically trying to go ahead, stack up as many soul talismans and pray that they give me level 4 spirit stone boxes. That is the reason why I've just been stacking them up. I honestly don't have any intention of using them. It's not, you know, there's really no point to stacking them. You're better off using them, but I always had that mochila problem. And as far as the Brazil account goes, you know, Gin is still playing it just because nothing has happened to it. I'm still in the process of trying to get a refund from there, but I honestly don't see that happening. It's been way too long for that. You usually have around, like, I guess you have at least 3 months. In 3 months time, you have a pretty good, decent chance of actually refunding. and getting your money back. But outside of those 3 months, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. But I honestly don't want to risk it. You know, I don't see Brazil staying up for too long at all. So I'd rather just risk it, you know, fuck it. I don't care what happens to that account. The fact that they just randomly closed it in the first place doesn't mean I should actually stick there and, you know, plan to stay around for much longer. But we're going to fully infuse the Maya set. This has been something that, you know, I got the 130 set way before the 141. But I just still couldn't manage to fully infuse it. So since we got it to an Aquaria boot set, I need to get myself some more Spirit Stones though. I got socket holes for Namaya's gear, but I don't have anything to put exactly into it. But, you know, I'm just going to keep infusing everything. I didn't even notice that Berserker Renji's weapon was not even infused. So that was a lot of damage he was actually missing out on. The boots are good. Then we also have my main, which, you know, he is missing his weapon enchant as well. I still haven't done refines. I forgot about that. I haven't done refines for this thing at all. So I still have to refine all my equipment. And I need 4 more levels for this. So pretty much, let me just check this out. Okay, so we can do a few more things. I'm basically trying to get as much as we can infused. And we're getting a pretty decent power boost from this. Pretty decent power boost. And it's just nice to know that everything is, you know, at least as long as you keep it at this level, you can go ahead and get discounts for infuses as well as sockets. So make sure you socket, because out of many players, have pretty much forgot that the sockets cost gets reset and lowered. So we pretty much all upgraded one set to the highest, and we basically forgot about it. So definitely don't make that mistake. Get all your sockets up, get your gear upgraded to the max so you can, and then start doing refines. You know, I still have 12.5 billion silver saved up with no plans to use it whatsoever. Slowest soul cultivation bar fill up in the history of the world, because I don't do soul cultivation outside of the advanced ones that I get for free. So, you know, it's been rough when it came to that. But let me just go ahead and we're going to make some inventories. And I guess it's finally time for me to basically use up the soul talismans. I think it's definitely time for that. You know, I have never thought about doing it. You know, it feels bad because all this 140 material I had saved up, it's only going to be silver. You know, I was stacking it just in case I was going to get more 140 sets in the future. But I'm just going to basically try to get myself the silver from this and pretty much not looking back. So, you know, it's not a bad idea. Definitely it's worth it to just upgrade all your sets right away. They will give higher stats than base 140 sets anyway. Plus, you also have them basically being easier to socket as well as easier to infuse. So it's always, you know, you win either way. You definitely have a lot better chance if you just do that. You know, and the socket cost, it's honestly incredible that the equipment upgrade came out so soon. It really is. We're still waiting for the Tavern update. You know, Tavern update is something that they need to do, just because after they released this equipment update, free players kind of, you know, got pushed aside when it came to that gap. There was always a gap between spenders and free players, but this equipment upgrade, it definitely pushed free players a lot back. So maybe if they do the Tavern update soon, that will kind of, you know, it'll still make it, you know, it would close the gap a little bit, but, you know, it will just make a big difference. I could definitely see, like, those, you know, the Hollow Ichigos and Eisens definitely, you know, being able to just beat some spenders at least, because, you know, their growth rates are massive. They almost double in growth rates and they become red names, so that's gonna be awesome to get. And hopefully Thanksgiving gives, you know, free players that have been playing for a lot of time, basically gives them the you know, equipment sets. Then they can actually go ahead and upgrade themselves. So I'll plan on, you know, I'm gonna oh, can't even speak right now, sorry guys, but, you know, 3 in the morning after my entire long day, I feel dead tired. So yeah, I really just, you know, trying my best to sound normal, but I have a feeling I could collapse at any moment. So I need to definitely go get some sleep after this video I recorded, after I basically render it and everything. So 999 soul talismans, and then we have a second stack with 757. So I was basically trying to, you know, I was on the road to getting 2,000 soul talismans and then opening all of them. But, you know, it's just might as well finally open it. I still have the 7-day Ichigo here. You know, let's just open it and see what we get. So 757. Let's see what we get. I don't even know. Like, we got a ton of Spirit Stone boxes as far as I can tell. So let me just look into it. We got level 3s. We got 29 level 3s. Wow, we actually get a lot of that. So that's nice to know. And let's just open the last 999. So Jesus, those Ryatsu cultivating pills though. And yeah, I honestly didn't see what we got. There was a lot of stuff that we were getting. Let me just go sell these silver cards. So 5 million silver from that. All the bag, yeah, the backpack announcement or notification is still popping up. We have 91 level 1 Spirit Stone boxes, 32 level 2 Spirit Stone boxes, 54 level 3s, and 1 level 4. So I actually thought you could get level 4s from those soul talismans, but it seems like you could only get yourself level 3s as the highest. So overall, no idea. Like, honestly, I didn't expect anything from this. So, you know, it was just there being stacked up for a long amount of time. And it feels good to finally use it. So let us take a look at all the Spirit Stones I have. I have to go through these. So yeah, most of you probably see these stones and be like, damn, dude, you gotta fix them. But honestly, you know, I have way too much stuff going on. And I really can't be bothered fixing the stones. I really do the stones when I have nothing to do. And I rarely come across that point because I always have something else I want to take care of instead of doing this. But I don't know when I'm going to get over these stones. It's going to take a while. We have a lot of Ryatsu cultivating pills. But you know, like, I should probably level up my Ryatsu, honestly. I need to go ahead and do something. I have too much silver laying around. So, no idea, you know, maybe next video I'll actually spend some of my silver. Maybe get like 10 Ryatsu levels at least. Like, I really just have no plans of what to use my silver on. That's the only, you know, that's the only problem I have at this point. But like, Ryatsu can get me a little bit. I can also go for max fortifies when it comes to Ikifune's gear. I could get her like 157 boots and 157 keto runes and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of silver to mess with. I have no idea what to use it for. Stacking fights, I'm not gonna do any evolutions outside of that. But that pretty much covers this video. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I have to see what's gonna happen with the, you know, the Bleach montage video that I was trying to do for the battle reports. Don't have any plans for that exactly, but I'll see what I can do. I will also put that in the description, basically, so you guys can see. It's gonna be a link to the forums. And then another thing is, you know, I think last video I announced it. It wasn't on video, but it was on the actual comments. Now, I was asked by the My Bankai host, which is basically the French host for Bleach Online, sorry. And they basically told me to make a official Discord for Bleach. Even though we already had the Go Games Discord, they wanted something purely professional because they do know how cancerous our forums are. And they probably assumed that the Discord that we already had was bad as well. So the new Bleach Online Discord is basically for pretty much trying to get information, being fully professional, you know, no joking around, no trolling around. But, you know, I have to go to sleep. So you guys will get this video around, I would say, 5 o'clock Tuesday, like in the afternoon for me. I have to always upload these videos after Naruto Online, and it's just, you know, I have no choice for that. But, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. But next week I'm planning to spend some silver and hopefully get myself that Mugetsu arena ring.